Hello, welcome to Navigating the Shift. This is Annabelle and Sarah. Sarah's audio again today. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing okay, getting through it.
Yay.
We
So
got some stuff to do today, so
we
stick with
do.
us.
Yeah, let's just have a look at generally what things are doing rather than going through news items and things, because everyone seems to be over it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, so many people are telling me I'm over the movie. I don't care about, whatever they say about Biden or Afghanistan or COVID or blah, 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 blah. It's all just a movie. It's getting faker and faker. It's more obviously fake to
Mm,
people.
mm,
And they're
mm.
pulling out of that. And that's a good thing.
It is.
But what we need to do is focus going forward. Where are we taking that energy? And also to look at we want to look at the challenges of having this world that we've engaged in and put our energy into disappearing. How does that affect us personally?
Yeah, I think I was reminded the other day of Operation Mockingbird, which came about in the 1950s and was about sort of subliminal messaging through media to lower the vibration, right? We've talked about that before, is that how everything is energy. And if they can find many, many different ways to lower your frequency down, 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 it's like carrying a huge load on your back. And they win. It doesn't matter how they do it, they win. If they can make you anxious or angry or judgmental or not trusting or fearful or whatever, they're winning. And creativity disappears when that happens, because you go into fight or flight mode, which is the most basic decision maker and is not particularly sophisticated, and you can get a lot of things wrong. And you're also disconnected from your intuition, so you can't look at something and go, yeah, that doesn't feel right. I know what they're saying and it all seems to make logical sense, but it doesn't feel right. And you can't do that when you're in a fight or flight mode.
Right. And the bottom line is, what's special and valuable as humans, about us as humans, is our creativity.
Mm.
So that's the number one thing they want to suppress in us. And we put our creative energy into this old world, right? We've had these dreams, I want to get a house that's bigger so each of my kids can have their own bedroom, or those are all old earth or old energy dreams. They're small, and we've
3D.
put be there, and now basically those dreams are all going, it's all going away. So don't see that as a failure. See that as, oh wait, those dreams are way too small. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk a wee bit more about all this stuff and give you some tips, but mostly we're going to a meditation to help you get your creativity moving and to really see your dream, where we're going in the new earth, because there's a shift happening, right? You feel it, Annabelle, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had a couple of times over the last week or so where I was like, I just don't know how much more I can handle of this, especially getting beaten from all sides by people that are controlled by the media, the Mockingbird thing going on. They just constantly repeat back. For example, even on social media over the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, at least 4 times, people have said to me, you're a danger to society. I'm like, well, that's interesting. You use the same word as that other person over there. It's obviously showing up in the media that they'll do anything they can to attack anybody who goes against their narrative. So that's obviously a word they're using at the moment, and radical as well. So I was radical. Yeah. So you can watch out for these things, and it's important to try and stop them from stabbing into you. Just let it just bounce off and go, okay, that's a word they use. That's an interesting word because that relates to somebody else who used the same word. Okay, all right. I can see there's a bit of a pattern going on here, rather than it being affected by it.
Yeah, it's difficult. I have a really close relative who I haven't seen in 2 years, who's traveling across the country to visit, but will not come and see me nor my children because I haven't been vaccinated. I'm like, why? Okay, you're visiting our stepmother. Okay. And her children. and your friends in the area. But don't pretend like you're visiting me. You're not. We're not. What am I going to do? Like open a window and shout out to you? Hi. Oh, good to see you. Won't come in my house, not because of the Delta variant. And the bottom line is,
They just can't see that there is no test that separates Delta from the original. There is no test. And I've said that over and over. And they go, oh no, there's scientific evidence. And they're not even thinking at the moment. There's even like a phone call to a lab here in Australia where they ask the lab, are you the one that are responsible for these tests? Yes. So can you tell us what is it in the test that shows the difference between the two? And she says, there is no test to do that. There is no way to find the difference. And then the caller said, well, how is the government deciding which one's Delta? And she said, I don't know. it's
well,
not there.
so here's a kind of a difficult part of this phase when two versions of reality come together, like when a river flows into a bay, you have a turbulent delta area. That's where we're at. And
very appropriate.
Yeah, right. Well, the number one thing, and I think you would agree, Annabelle, is we need to take our fancy new energy boats, untether them from the old reality, and ride the waves. We can't go forward if we're still holding on to the old reality. But one of the things in the old reality that's kind of the hardest to let go for a lot of people is those people, including for many loved ones, who just aren't going to wake up.
I don't feel that I want to close the door on those people. The goal has always been to take everybody with us. And if they need to be screamed at to wake up, then a lot more of them will wake up, I'm sure. But I find for myself, if we're going to use our little boat analogy, that you have to untie yourself from the dock in order to move out into the sea and get moving in a new direction, that I will assume, and it's kind of a bit of an expectation, that they will follow. That feels much nicer to me, rather than going, right, I'm out of here, goodbye, and not assume that they might follow.
I think that's a thinking that has been sort of holding us back from making this transition, because still being attached to them coming with us. And it may not be appropriate for everybody to come to the new earth. Their soul might say, no, I'm not ready. I want to do this.
That's true. Yeah, it is free will, but I think we should stop waiting for them. I think you're right there. But exactly. I don't want to close the Red Sea and prevent them from following. That's what I mean.
No. But the idea is, okay, at this point, as many people who are going to wake up have, and we've done everything we can. And we've talked to other people, or we've watched various videos. A lot of people are feeling this way. A lot of truthers, you call us. It's like, okay, I've had enough. No more movie. If they're going to follow, they're going to follow. Bless their hearts. I hope they do. If they don't, bless their hearts. That's fine too. And we need to move on. It's time. So give yourself permission to let go of all the people. It might be individuals or just group consciousness, because we've all been hooked into this group consciousness thing. We came here with it, we're going to save the planet. And that means taking everyone with us. Yes, I'm going to use my drama voice. And
I think you have an opinion there, I think, Sarah.
Well, yeah. But, the idea is, well, there is a little bit of a hook to that. Yeah. Because what feels like weight on your shoulders, like agreements. I'm going to make sure this person gets through, and I'm going to handle this, and I'm going to transmute this for the planet and all of that stuff. And that is over, everybody. We no longer have any jobs to do to shift this reality. We've done our job. You've all done your job. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've done it.
Yeah. Another analogy is coming to me while you're talking, which is a bit like trying to lead a kitten along the street, that you go really slow and you come on. when in fact, if we use this meditation now to turn around and forge ahead, that will be a better thing to do. Let's start making some strong headway.
Yeah. And so the idea is to realize astrologers and a bunch of other people, intuitive people, are going, this shift is close. It's really here. I can feel it, right?
It is. Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and I think the war is one of the last cards. Remember, we've talked about that before, that there's war or a mushroom cloud or alien invasion. I mean, these are final card. These are the last card in the hand kind of movements. So we know we are really, really close, within days, if not weeks.
exactly.
Woo.
Yeah. Ooh, finally. Jeez. So how do we help that to move along? How do we support that transition as far as building it in robustness, but also moving it along? Move along, little cowboy. No, what is it? Little pony? No, it's a. No, never mind. I can't do cowboy
Cowgirls
talk.
and ponies. Yeah, get them all come along.
Move along, little pokey. I think it's a.
I know.
Just edit. This is stupid.
No,
but anyway,
it's cute. I
anyway,
agree. Yeah, I can't remember what it is either. Get along, little doggy.
doggy. Woo.
There it is.
Man, geez, and my new Earth home is a ranch, and I can't even get that right. Jeez,
And you can sing it all the time on your new ranch. You can do that.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, dream big. This isn't, oh, I'd like to live somewhere with a little more space in my house, or any of those little
a new dress or a new car. Yeah, it's not 3D stuff now.
If you get pictures or sensations or any of that stuff about it, that's great. The place I've been spending a lot of my time, mostly I feel, but I have had dreams, like sleepy dreams, as well as daydreams of riding my horse and just seeing into the valley and all of that, and the creeks coming into it. I mean, it's so real to me. Well, it's real.
Awesome.
It's just going to take a little while for me to get there. The idea is to feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And feel it big, feel it nice, feel it special.
Yeah. I was just reading last night a message through Kabamir. Do you know Kabamir Taygeta? He's a guy who showed up on a it might have been Jordan Safer's group. At the time, it had more than 10,000 people in it on Facebook. And he showed up and we got talking, and, there were sort of spiritual people. There weren't many spiritual people in that group. There were a lot of people that were a lot more political. But then he set up a breakaway group, a separate group on Facebook, which just had 10 of us. And then it started to grow again. And then he left. I think he lost his Facebook page. I didn't like his messages. They're far too hopeful. And now he's got a spot on Telegram, Cabin. He's just called Cab now, I think. But there was one here that he just put out yesterday, and I just want to read it to you. It's quite lovely. So, question, at the moment of the shift, what happens in 3D versus what happens in 5D? So 5D, a non-linear transition. For those who shift to Sheen, 5D Earth, it will be like waking from a dream. It'll be very obvious when it happens, as the crafts fill the sky and everyone feels an awareness and peace. In an instant, we'll have healthy bodies, expanded consciousness to perceive new concepts. And over time, we will gain new abilities like superpowers. For the most part, everyone will be with the same people in the same home location. This falls under God's plan. And I can't explain it in much more detail, but it's not something to worry about. Your family and pets will be with you. Humans will immediately meet Pleiadians, and all good things happen after that. 5D humans will thrive, and starseeds will return home when we choose.
Wow.
Isn't that lovely? He's got a 3D version as well. I don't know if you want to hear that one.
Well, let me just comment on that. Yeah. It sounds like he said specifically wake from a dream.
Yes, that's what I picked up on as well. Waking from dreams. So what does it feel like to be in a deep dream with a lot of detail, and then you wake up and you're in a totally different reality?
Ooh, let's put that in the meditation. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So then the 3D is a linear transition. One shall be taken, one shall be left behind is the common understanding of the rapture, and it's fairly accurate. Those left behind will not see dead bodies. They'll literally experience millions of people disappearing from the reality in a blink. They will remember us and will know we're gone. I can't speak to specifics, such as will cars and planes suddenly crash as drivers disappear. There are soul plans involved in every aspect. Some might think we were abducted by ETs, but they'll gradually learn about the shift. This will come from what myself and others have left behind as a record. This is channeling from a Pleiadian. Pleiadians will continue to bring messages here, and some of us will be on the crafts when it happens. And then the question Cab asks is when? And he says, Pleiadians tell us soon, meaning you will experience it in this lifetime, during the time of the current generations. That kind of soon.
Kind of soon. Favorite kind of soon.
Yeah, but it might just be that the soon that we are feeling, this thing that we're right on the edge of right now, is disclosure, right? And then once we have some of that coming out, whether it's through emergency broadcast or whether it's that the media are forced to start telling us what's going on, even if they play innocent, oh my goodness, look at this new information, that will still make people move along and will wake up a whole lot more to their lies and will move us forward, because then we can change what we've got right now. So that's still good. It doesn't necessarily mean, automatic rapture, though.
All right. Well, that wouldn't be my first choice. It feels kind of linear to me. So I'm going for the 5D version, where all of a sudden this dream, which has been a challenging one, I wake up from it and it's so obvious it was a dream. That's a good vision. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. We always start with a big old breath. And do put your awareness into your body, because our bodies have been through a lot and they're going with us. They're going to be very happy having woken from this dream. But for right now, they still need our love and attention. So just scan through your body. Notice if there's any place that wants attention through discomfort or any other thing. Just let that part of your body know that you're here, you're paying attention, and that we're going to get through this. But our bodies are stressed, so they need to have our soul let them know that we're getting through this. It's almost over, So just take a moment doing that. Yeah. And another big breath as any tension that was held is released. So what we're going to do is imagine we've been dreaming this dream this whole lifetime, especially maybe this last year and a half, when the dream kind of flipped into a bit of a nightmare. So it's so vivid, so obvious. You can feel everything and smell everything and taste things, and stuff happens that you don't expect. This has been the weirdest dream ever. All of a sudden, there's a noise, ding, or perhaps the sound of angels singing. Annabelle, you want to contribute to that?
I was just thinking of birds. Oh,
you have a higher voice than me. So there you go.
There we go.
There they are, birds and angels and all kinds of good things. Certainly not an alarm clock. And all of a sudden you open your eyes. And that dream is so vivid still. It's there. It starts just fading away. And you let it. And you notice your life. What is real life for you? Keep your eyes closed, your inner eyes closed, and just Notice if there's any sort of like shift as far as gravity or maybe weight, if your body feels different. Take a couple of breaths and notice the air. Put out your psychic antennas. What's going on out there? Do you feel like you have to be guarded? You have to protect yourself, or are you completely 100% open, safe, and sharing yourself with this collective reality? Feel it and just feel that joy of, oh my God, I am so glad I woke up from that dream. Open your eyes and just sort of get up and move around. Notice how your body feels. And okay, this is what they're telling me to do. Have your sit down and go into a meditation in the new reality. You've already created a lot of it, but you're fine tuning it. So really go out in your imagination. Like I said, not just an extra bedroom. How does your dream home feel when you're there? Is it light and airy and spacious? Is it cozy and warm? Dance around it in your meditation. You might have the perfect kitchen if that matters to you. Or if not, it could be something else. The view. Your perfect view. And you've got land, you've got property. Of course you do. We're meant to live with space around us, to have a lot of space around us. What's in your garden? Do you enjoy gardening there? Or do you have somebody else do it for you who does? Now, I want you to imagine who's there with you and feel them and notice if they feel any different than they did in the dream. Is there anybody new? Now, I hear a lot of people try to like put a face on it or something. Let that go. Just go to the feeling. Who's there? Who's in your life? What are you going to do today since you're here now? And you've created this perfect reality, this dream new earth reality, where you get to do what you love. And since we're talking about creativity and you're being creative in this visualization here, what will you be creative with on the new earth? Because the creative energy is going to be flowing back in. So why don't you take 3 big breaths and remember what that feels like when you really get that creative surge? Breathe that in. Fill your body with that. Oh, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make that. Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, fill it up and expand it out. And remember, creativity isn't just doing paintings or something like that. It can be cooking, gardening, lots of other stuff, dancing, all those other ways. What's your dream? What did you dream of being when you grew up, when you were a little child? You can be that now. You can be that person. And it can be really fun. So come back here as frequently as you can, avoid the news. I know you all do mostly anyway, but there's still stuff we're exposed to. But take a break, maybe as you're falling asleep or whenever is a good time for you, and come back to this place. Enjoy discovering some of the details of what's in your life, what's on your land, what's going on around you, what are you doing, what gives you satisfaction, all of that. This is where we're going, and you can be here now. Awesome. You have anything you want to
No, I
add?
don't. I just got this sort of great urge to go designing, making the
Right?
plans. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't have time to, sit down, or if you're not a real visual person, just go, okay, creativity, breathe it in, expand it out three times, just several times a day, because that's what they're trying to shut down. And that's what we need to build up and remember. Whoop, whoop.
Woohoo. Coming back. Wow. That was really great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. That's where I've been living in my own version of that.
Yeah, I hadn't really stopped to view the new world in that way. So that was really lovely. I can see just fantasy architecture everywhere. And so, like arts, culture, performing arts, architecture, as I said, a lot of these things will become the most important because most people don't have any work to do. If you've got everything that you need, and
Right.
manifestation becomes more instantaneous, or maybe it might actually be instantaneous, then we don't need to reach for anything or earn anything. We just make it, and therefore we have a lot of time to appreciate the beauty of the world and each other, and collaborate on cool stuff, creativity in that way. And it really showed me how far we have come in the last year and a half away from that. They've been brilliant and very, very clever in pulling us away from our creativity and getting us so caught up, such that when I
Mhm.
meet my friends that are already supposedly on top of the information, just like we are, that all they want to talk about is the bad stuff. It's so brilliantly clever. And of course, they've worked on it for decades to work out exactly how to control people's minds in that way. So to go back to this idea of fresh air and amazing gardens and big ballrooms where you can have parties and dancing everywhere and designing fairy tale castles, and it's just such a relief. It's awesome.
Yeah. My dream includes, actually, I had a nighttime dream of this where I was like in a hovercraft, just one of those automatic things. Anyways, I was buzzing above this camp for teenagers, where teenagers who've been, living in this crazy society or whatever, but they can come out and experience riding a horse,
Right.
milking a cow. We'll also have an art studio. They can do ceramics and painting and all this stuff, horse rides, and a whole lot of teaching connection.
Right.
Like you want to connect with your horse. Here's how you do this. Specific ways to like match the horse's steps, and every single counselor is specifically assigned to a camper, a small group of campers, to meet their needs,
Mm-hmm.
because they fill out forms ahead of time. Their parents do. They all the counselors are taught in the magic creation communication techniques of mirroring people and really listening, because you know how hard it is to be a teenager.
Yeah.
And also the parents get taught. There's a book I read, I think it was from the 70s, called How to Talk So Your Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Your Kids Will Talk. But I've been turning it around and saying, how to talk so your parents will listen, and listen so your parents will talk, and the parents get taught. So, and after 2 weeks, they develop trust, and they have respect, and there's no punishment. It's all logical consequences. If you go to the kitchen and make yourself food and you don't clean up, well, the consequences, then you don't get to use the kitchen anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but it's a consequence. It's not a punishment, and all these other things that I think that it's regardless of what the world's like, teenage years are difficult, and the relationship with parents is hard then. Although maybe that'll all shift then. Maybe it'll all
Yeah.
just so much fun to have that age of kids there, because there's an amount of, there's so much growth during that period to watch.
Well, I think they'll a lot of they won't hang around as long either. Like, in earlier times they used to get out because they had to start working at the age of sort of 15 or 16. But and then housing was a lot cheaper, so they could leave in their early 20s if they wanted to and get married and have kiddies or whatever. And then that stopped. We couldn't get them to leave before the age of 30 because they just couldn't afford a place. So I think that will change now that they'll have the opportunity to go and have more freedom themselves, get their own little house. But they can still keep them, they will build a better relationship with their parents because they won't be on each other's backs. They'll be going, well, I've come across this problem. What do you reckon? And it'll foster a whole lot better relationship, that there's no sort of cramping going on at the same time.
Right. And everybody's not under stress and all this. I mean,
how much is generated by parents under stress? This is the thing, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And how much, I was sort of thinking about what we're looking at there. It's like, oh, it's hard to be a teenager and communicate with your parents. It's like, wait a minute, is that small thinking? Is that when we get the Sheen, as Cab calls it, will that all just go away because we'll be so telepathic? Communication is obvious.
Well, this is another thing, yeah, as well. I was sort of asking the question in the meditation, would I travel around different parts of the world? And it felt like I can do that easily if I want to, but I can just talk to you. So, Sarah, you and I are not going to need, digital devices. I'll just say, hey, you're free. Come to me when you're free. And then whatever time, because there is no time then, that you could just go, okay, I'm just going to do this for a couple of hours and then I'm ready to chat. And I'll just be there when you're ready. And it's not like I have to wait either. You'll meet me at that time and it might be 2 hours later. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
because there's no time. When we're both ready to stop and have a chat, then we will.
Dream big.
Or teleporting might be another possibility, and then we won't be looking at travel and little ships or spaceships or anything anyway.
Yeah, I do know that whoever is my husband, I haven't met this man in 3D yet, in my future ranch, he travels a lot and he doesn't get on a plane or a helicopter. Let's put it that way.
I've seen him, Sarah. He's nice.
Oh my goodness. I have not seen his face. I think I'm blocked to see that, but I've seen him from the back and he's nice.
Be interesting when he actually shows up. We'll see if it compares to what I've seen.
Actually,
Awesome.
I hope somehow he doesn't look like that, because I don't want to all be going, oh my God, that's him. Although then it won't matter. I'll be going, oh, finally we get to hang out together, darling.
Oh, you'll know him. You'll know him instantly, I'm sure. You'll recognize him, even if it's not physically, but it'll be his energy you'll recognize.
Yeah. One way. Yeah. So, dream big, everybody. It's coming. Hold the line. What is it?
Hold the line. That's right. And keep your energy up. Notice when the media is trying to knock you down. Oh my God, all these terrible personal stories and people falling out of planes. Just go, I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do. Can I go over there and help? No. So I am better to help the world move forward by lifting my energy up.
Hallelujah. All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks for joining. Hope this was good for you.
Bye.
Bye.